Alright, so we're starting race 1 for round 8. And our goal this entire race is just keep close to the front and keep on the back of whoever's in front of us. We want to induce pressure and kind of induce a mistake on their end, because this is a track where I do not have much success in overtaking. So that's my strategy for this race. And as you see right off the bat, we are on the back bumper of Heathen the entire way to the entire first couple of laps. Because, like I said, I think it was last time, if I'm close, I'm going to attack. I can, so. But here, me and Heathen are pretty evenly matched pace around this track, so. It's basically just me getting on his bumper, staying there, not making any contact. Right now we got a small little gap, which is fine. Having a gap is better than getting into him and pushing him off track, ruining his race, so. We've got to do the first lap. And we're just basically at the bottom of the podium, which is fine with us. Just like I said, this is a track that we don't overtake well, but doesn't mean we're not going to try if the opportunity presents itself. Now we're at a sector where again we're going to really get on Heathen's back bumper again here. Because for some reason this race, I feel like I overall took the track better on the mediums than I did on the softs, as you'll see next race. So, again, we're closing in on Heathen again. Keeping a little bit more of a distance. Basically, like I said, we're just going to try to maintain pressure and just kind of induce a mistake on Heathen's end. Which is one reason why we do keep backing off, in case he does make that mistake that we're trying to induce. And there it is. He then went into the sand. We swung wide to make sure he weed it and get into him when he was coming back on the track. And now we're going to try to catch up to Jason in front of us. But the operative word there is try. And like a lot of other drivers in our class and throughout this week, I felt better on the mediums on this track going around. They seemed to they didn't lose. In this case, it's a matter of the fact that just the mediums don't lose grip as quickly as the softs do. But this race, we don't really have any grip issues. It's just now we're just running our lap. We got to nose to the grindstone. We got a couple of bobbles here and there, like that was one of them, which lets Cornstick behind us get close, but never really posing a threat. And of course, we also don't really ever get close to Jason, so we never really pose a threat to him either, so. We do hold fastest lap for quite a while though, so. But I do end up losing it near the end. Also, coming into this race, I knew race 1 I needed the best possible finish I could get. Because I know next race is a wash. I know going into next race is a wash. So I've got to get as high of a position as I can here to try to offset how poorly I expected to finish the next race. Jason noticeably got a little squirrel there coming across the line. I'm guessing he kind of got a little too much into the grass. So that kind of gives us a little bit of false hope that we can catch up to him. But that McLaren handles this section just a little bit better than the Viper does. And quite frankly, he just has better pace than we do here. Yeah, I take the fastest lap and hold it for a while, but my more consistent lap time is in the 159s on the mediums. I do think Jason was consistently hitting 158, so we really didn't have a chance, as you'll see. Kind of pulls away from us, but we're also pulling away from the peacocks behind us, so just speaks to how consistent he is and how consistent I am. I think he's a little more, ultimately I think he is a little more consistent than I am. And that's what allows him to, in the end, kind of keep ahead of us. All in all, we have a very clean race this time around, so can't really be upset by not being able to catch the guy. Just he has the pace, better pace than we did, so. And we're still on the podium, so it's still a good finish. It's still good points for this race. As we're just now getting past the halfway point. We do start making tiny mistakes as the race progresses, which again allows Cornstick to kind of catch up to us. Like I say, he never really gets close enough to pose a threat. And it's just because I start trying to push too hard to catch up to Jason, knowing that I need it. I really feel like I should be able to catch up to him. Then I'll start making these tiny mistakes that kill our lap times. Like that set of S's, I never really get the line right. So that's one area where I know Jason pulled ahead of me, for sure. Just because I never get the line right, so I end up letting off a little bit. As you can see, because actually I'm showing you my inputs this time. At this point, I think it's 2 laps to go. Maybe 3. But I think it is 2 to go here at this point. So we don't really gain on J-set. We kind of slink our way away from Corn Stick. It's one of those where, that's one of those mistakes where I was talking about, where I started making like these tiny little mistakes like that, taking that too wide, getting to the grass, going too deep into there. But yeah. So ultimately at this stage of the race, we're slinking, we're kind of loose ground to Corn Stick, then we jump ahead a little bit more than what we were. And it's kind of like that kind of cycle between me and Corn Stick coming into the last couple of laps. And Jason's just pulling away. And yeah, now we're on the final lap. So at this point, at this point, I've backed off on trying to catch a Jason. I know that at this point, unless he makes a severe mistake, there's no way. So my concentration at this point is focused on just keeping my nose clean and avoiding mistakes of my own this last lap. See, race 1 for us really was just keep our nose clean type race. So we were just trying to catch up with J-Set, having not really much success with that, keeping ahead of Corn Stick and everyone else. Much success there. Ultimately, this race is showing how we're still in the fight for our top spot in the standings right now. I think, yeah, next race, the final chicane there gives me a few problems. For this first race, really no big issues anywhere, so didn't really have any big problems anywhere. Just didn't have the pace to keep up with the leader. And now we go into race 2. This It's reverse grid, so we're starting at the back. And also, because of our re-entry faux pas last race, we have to serve a drop through penalty. And because I was unsure if I could serve it on this lap or not, I do wait until next lap to serve it. So we're starting in the back. We're just trying to keep it clean at this point. I'm not really looking to overtake at all at this point because I know I'm going to give it right back. Even though I do want to not be slowed up too badly because I do want to minimize how much time I lose to the front because of the penalty I'm about to serve. Yeah, I probably could have pushed the issue there, but I wasn't going to because I would have put him off the ideal line, put me off the ideal line as well. So it was just no point in pushing the issue. Like I said, I'm just trying to keep it clean because I'm fixing to have to go into the pit, and I won't get. I'm just a drive-through, stop and go penalty where I go in, stopping my stopping my pit box, come right back out. No service allowed, so I don't want to give myself a reason take service, which would mean in a second pit stop for that. So we're keeping on the back of Ethan again. Last race we're trying to induce a mistake to get a position if we can. Here I'm looking to make it pass on the inside here. However, because there's an accident right here, I end up having to kind of not go for it there, kind of back out of it, just make sure I don't go into Chip, who had stalled in the middle of the track there. So now we're trying to basically just keep on the back of everyone else. Except I'm not really going to try to overtake. If the opportunity presents itself, obviously I will. But you see who I'm behind, and then the opportunity to overtake really isn't going to materialize before we go into pit. Here we do take that particularly poorly, but that does enable us to actually take a kind of a defensive line through there. You know, we're basically running alongside John the Jinky here. Got with that drag race, and now we're behind Superman, but we're about to go into pit to serve our penalty now. And I'm putting my blinker on there to let him know, hey, I'm going into pit. To stop and go, so you see, after even just one lap, we've already used 77 down to, we already used like 33% of our fuel. Third of our fuel already gone. Oh, that's 23, not quite a third. Almost a quarter of our fuel already gone after just 2 laps. And now we've got to catch back up to everyone else. And I was concerned coming into this race because throughout practice with power on, after a point I start struggling to put laps together. And that point comes well before it's actually pit time. That's softs and mediums, so tire wear normally not an issue with me, actually is an issue to this track with me for some reason. And normally tire wear is not an issue with me, I can normally handle it pretty well. But this race just wasn't my race. You'll see. Yeah, I don't know why the live timing type data between me and the other drivers is not showing, but you can see here I am gaining on Cody B. And quite frankly, I'm gaining on the leader. It's just I'm so far back because of that penalty now that it's still a tall ask to try to get back up into a competitive spot. Whereas I normally rely on an undercut to gain positions for this race. Because of fuel concerns, I can't go for an undercut. Because a full tank barely gets me halfway through the race, so you'll see. But for now, the race is still going pretty smooth, all things considered. We haven't made any big mistakes, no big bungles. I'm just doing my thing, pushing, trying to keep my nose clean. And just trying to play catch up. You see here we've caught up to Cody B, who doesn't have the best of all races either, if we're being honest. He struggled a good bit here. Yeah, I actually took that a little too deep. Thought we made it work anyway. So now our goal is to catch up to Jay's set in front of us. Cody B went wide there. Anyway, I didn't realize he went that wide there. Anyway, again, we're nose to the grindstone, just doing our thing, trying to catch up to the rest of the pack now. so far, the race isn't going bad for us. We're doing pretty good. We're keeping it clean. We're keeping it stable. We're keeping it straight for the most part. So our main focus is just catch up to the guys in front of us. Don't make mistakes. And just keep it pointed forward. We set our best lap there. Our first sub 2-minute lap of the race. On lap 5. Now I'm thinking, okay, now my mind I'm thinking, okay, now we're clicking, we're good. Let's get as far as we can. Let's pick up some ground. Because I've got better pace than what I'm showing at this point. I know that in the back of my head. So we're pushing as hard as we can to get back up to where the guy in front of us, which is currently corn stick. But we do that. It's like, okay, we keep it under control. Okay, we'll lose a couple of seconds or so from corn stick. We'll start catching back up to them, no problem. Right. I guess we'll see how. So far, all not bad so far. Just that one little bobble, really. But we're gaining up on corn stick now. We can see him, which is motivating us to push even harder. At this point, we're not really concerned about our tires right now. I'm more concerned about my fuel right now than I am my tires. I'm wondering if I'm going to make the next lap or not. So we're closing in. We know we've got the pace to catch up to corn stick. He's in our sights. We smell blood. But what you know, it's my blood I smell. We see Pedro coming along. Out of an abundance of caution, I actually wait for him to come by before trying to get started. And I'm just like, that was like the last thing I wanted to happen. Now my tires are dirty. I've got some front aero, but I know it's still too soon to bet. So we come along, we see what kind of positions we can get. And even here, I can already see that the arrow damage is going to have an effect on us. And it is fortunately just arrows, so it's just going to affect how well we can get up to speed. It's not really going to affect our handling too much. So now we're behind Kilt, who for the most part had a good race himself, so. Here we're behind him. We're slowly gaining up on him here. Then we get to the bit where we actually need a better arrow, so he starts pulling away from us. But we're not worried about it because we're about to go into bed. Because I basically have to run out of fuel almost run out of fuel to make my fuel strategy here. Very small margin of error fuel wise. And we're just over the halfway point, so here we're falling behind Kilt again because here's the high speed section, and that's where having our arrow damage really hurts. So we had our bobble the previous lap. We're now going in to repair the damage from that, take fuel and the other compound tire that we need. And naturally we lose all the positions that we had gained. I was hoping to not have to take a full fuel load. Unfortunately, we go full fuel. Now we've repaired our damage. And now we're playing catch up again. And now we're on softs. So, okay, we can still salvage if these at the finish, right? Let's see. Now we are a cat on a mission. Our mission is to get ahead of everyone that we can. And we've got a lot of ground to catch up. And so we set out to do just that. We set up to catch all the ground. Alright, we've got our foul lap done. Tires are not quite warm, but that doesn't mean we're not going to push. We are pushing. We were pushing from the start coming out. There was no let the tires warm up. We just go ahead and go. Okay, we get everything we can now because we have a lot of ground to catch up and not a lot of time to do it. Yeah, we still don't quite get the line right there, and we make up for it elsewhere. So we don't take that as well as we should, but we're doing well enough. We're not worried about taking the perfect line right now. We're about just pace, just getting up to Pedro as quickly as we can, and we're pushing as hard as we can. I mean, at this point, I'm seeing the time between me and Pedro drop, and I see it's dropping fairly quickly. Just wish I knew what it was. So, seeing that gap drop and then pulling purples consistently these next few laps, just motivating me to push all that much harder, all that much more. At this point, I'm starting to get glimpses of Pedro coming around some of these corners. So that confirms to me that I am catching up to him, which means there's no letting up. Push, 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 push. Yep, so we're still pushing. We clearly see we are gaining on Pedro. And again, we're still we also just pulled a purple sector, so that just means push more, push harder. Another purple sector, push harder. Keep pushing. Another purple sector. We're going to push more. We're going to push harder. Yellow flag. That throws an alert up on my mind. Like, what just happened? There was also a outburst in the party chat there when that happened. I didn't mute that for the race. That was my bust there. So I broke my concentration for a second, but now we're up behind Chip. And backing off for the yellow flag. Try to avoid an incident. We ended up losing some of our time there. Now we've caught up to Chip, who's not too far behind Pedro. So now we've got to get around Chip. And remember what I said at the beginning of the video. On this track, overtaking is not something I do well. Chip was able to hold a good defensive line there on me. So the best thing I can try to do is try to attack on the inside on one of these corners. Again, I have the acceleration overall on him here. It's just a matter of pulling it off. There, I kind of slide the rear end a little bit too much, so I end up having to back off there. Here, it's too late in the race for my normal strategy of just assert pressure and let him make the mistake to pay off. I'm trying to hurry up and get around him because I don't have time to do that. That's the thing with that, my normal approach for getting positions. This combination of overtaking and applying pressure is that it's time consuming and the driver may not make that mistake that I'm counting on. And also, I know, at least in the back of my mind, I have much better pace than Chip. There, that's the one time, I think, oh no, there's twice on that corner where my rear end, the trinity where my rear end just keeps going. And so that gives Chip that position for a little bit longer. There we actually accomplished what we were trying to do the previous lap there. Cut basically that one corner wide and take it on the inside. That's what I tried to do the previous lap, it didn't work. I didn't get wide enough. But I didn't make that mistake that time. And so now my sights are set on Pedro. Because again, like I said, I know I have the better pace over Chip. So now we're just trying to gain on Pedro. Because we've got one more lap. I've got one lap to catch the Pedro, and I see the time between me and him going down quickly. So I'm continuing to push, to attack, to try to catch up and overtake Pedro this lap. But here, our rear end decides not to cooperate with us, so we go way wide there, which lets Chip get right back around us. And now we're having to continue getting around Chip again. And also, I know at this point, I'm not getting around Pedro. So now I've got to basically really nose the grindstone, draw in Chip again. Knowing that I have dirty tires, so I shouldn't push as hard as I do, but I've got to get back around him. That's what I'm thinking anyway. Dirty tires be damned, I've got to catch up and get around him. And we're making a race out of it, that's for sure. We're fighting for that final spot in the top 10. We're on his bumper now. So now I've got to try to take the inside. Then I get on the curb too much. My rear end goes to unstable. All I can say is good job. GG's to Chip for holding me off there at the end. It was rough, but we made it. And we got one of our stronger tracks next week, so we should be able to be competitive despite the fuel shortage we won't have to adapt. But I'll catch you out next time. Take care.